Hello, I'm Brian Patrick. Welcome to Fifth Third Business Beat for Friday, March 6, 2009. On the front page of this week's Business Courier, GE Aviation and its plans to invest in general aviation aircraft. The company, already the world's largest producer of jet engines, plans to pour hundreds of millions of dollars into developing a range of smaller engines that power business jets and light and mid-range planes. General aviation is a segment of the market where GE is not a major player. Officials at GE Aviation headquarters in Evendale say it offers a lot of potential. Despite the recent bad publicity of corporate executives and their jets, GE says business aviation will still be necessary because there's a need for business people to reach remote areas quickly. GE hopes to grab market share from existing suppliers and experience rapid growth as the economy recovers. A Covington company that sells technology used to screen people and cargo inks a deal with a major Middle Eastern country. Valley Forge Composite Technologies has a personal screening system that can find metal and non-metal objects hidden on or inside the body. Privacy isn't an issue because the Odin personal screening system doesn't show the contours of the body like some other technology did. The scan takes 5 seconds and you wouldn't have to remove your belt, shoes, or jackets when going through security at an airport.
These are scheduled to be used at airports, high security buildings, high security prisons, and border crossings in many Gulf Coast countries as well as some Asian countries.
Valley Forge won't say with which Middle Eastern country it signed the agreement. It also is working with the Department of Homeland Security to see how this technology can be put into use in this country. An index that measures the freight and passenger numbers out of the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport is at its lowest level in 13 years. Research conducted by the Center for Economic Analysis and Development at Northern Kentucky University shows that economic development in the region will be affected, but lower fuel prices and fare reductions could improve the index. The airport supports many regional businesses, and it's the reason many of them located in the area in the first place. Delta recently cut its fares out of CVG, but it's unclear if that will help boost the number of travelers or if the companies will take advantage of the lower prices. A local couple's home-based business has no inventory and no employees, but it generates almost $1 million a year in income. Chris and Cheryl Kane run Amjo, an internet company selling things like special lamps to help with seasonal affective disorder and skin diseases like psoriasis, or this device to help those with carpal tunnel syndrome. The Kanes operate 12 different websites, one for each product they sell.
We've done business with about 40,000 customers worldwide. We've done business in 40 different countries. We've done it with no inventory or virtually no inventory, and it's just my wife and myself.
Chris designs the websites while Cheryl takes care of many of the administrative duties. Back to the front page of the Business Courier now, Dan Monk's story on the federal stimulus money that's coming to the tri-state. How much money is coming to this area?
$80 million and counting, I think, is the total so far, and that includes money that was allocated for OKI, Regional Council of Governments, which is the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which got about $38 million in highway funding, and they're going to be spending that over the next couple of years. But there's a new allotment of formula funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's another $40 million, and that money is coming to local housing agencies and local governments to help deal with homelessness and upgrades to public housing projects.
How is it distributed? Who decides that? How's it done?
Well, the formula funding is done. A lot of this money is going to be distributed through a competitive process. So this online site where people are submitting their proposals, this one organized by Ohio Governor Ted Strickland, that's the site that has something like 17,000 proposals on it. So a lot of the money is going to be distributed by the states through a competitive process, and nobody really knows what the rules of that competitive process are going to be. But then there's another chunk of money, a smaller chunk, that is being distributed through a formula procedure, and that involves sending money to cities and counties all over the country on a per capita basis. It's based on population and poverty statistics.
The Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority gets quite a good chunk. How will it be spent?
$19 million, and it's earmarked for capital spending. And they have a 5-year capital plan that includes $50 to $60 million worth of projects, so they won't have any trouble finding things to spend the money on. It'll likely be things like boiler upgrades and new windows, maybe new roofs for some of their buildings, cosmetic improvements and that kind of thing. And they're looking to spend that pretty quickly. They have to tell HUD by April 10th how they're going to spend the money, and then they're going to start bidding immediately. They're hoping to get as many contracts awarded this year as they can.
Now, about $6 million goes into preventing homelessness. How will that money be spent, Dan?
There are a variety of groups working on it. City officials and Hamilton County have agreed to, at least tentatively at this point, to spend the money together. So that puts together a pool of about $6.7 million that can be spent to prevent people from becoming homeless. One element of this plan that passed, the federal stimulus package, it's kind of a different idea for spending money on the homeless. In the past, the feds have funded the operation of homeless shelters. In other words, helping people after they become homeless. And this is kind of a new idea to help people before they become homeless, keep them in their apartment, keep them in their homes, that kind of thing. So a lot of this money is going to be spent on rent relief, utility payments, intervening with landlords to try to work out a deal to keep them from being evicted. And the early indication is that as many as 2,400 families are going to be helped by this program.
Well, that makes sense. Now, about $6 million also going to the Community Action Agency from the Energy Department.
They have a weatherization program where they help low-income homeowners upgrade their properties. They do energy audits if they need insulation. They figure out a way to get the insulation installed. In some cases, new furnaces. In some cases, new windows. So this weatherization program is going to get a pretty big boost. I think they were budgeted to spend $2.5 million this year and work on 435 homes, and now they're thinking they're going to be close to $8 million, possibly as much as $10 million in their budget, and ability to do as many as 1,500 homes.
So all this money is also designed to generate jobs, right?
That's the general idea, and you can tell that the Community Action Agency, for example, they're hiring 12 people right now, beefing up their staff as they look to do more homes. The Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority will obviously be hiring contractors to do a lot of the work for them, so you can expect jobs to be created in that process as well.
All right, thank you, Dan. Be sure to read Dan Monk's story on the front page of this week's Business Courier.
Watch Fifth Third Business Beat Fridays at 7:30 p.m. on CET or online anytime at cetconnect.org.
The Business Courier, Greater Cincinnati's dominant provider of breaking business news. More than 50,000 readers each week depend on the Business Courier for information to help grow their businesses and stay ahead of the competition.